There's a statement here that's come up for me, and it's called do not waste your life, or do not waste your sports, or do not waste your marriage, or do not, and there's a ministry around that, right? Do not waste. When I wrote it down in my notes, I had to rephrase it, because if we think it's about me and mine, this is why it's hard to give it back to God. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about God. And everything we have is actually God's. So if everything is God's, guess what the statement is? Do not waste the life you have been given. You see, he's given me something, and now I'm just opening my hands to say, God, what would you have me to do? And guys, that's the best posture you can be in with everything you have. Because just as my parents laid me on the altar before God as a young baby and nurtured me that way my whole life and loved me, made me feel loved by them, it wasn't like they were absent or something like that. It was the best place to love me that way. That's what I do with my children. And I'm seeing the rewards. I'm seeing the honor that God brings by having put them on the altar. Scary stuff to put it back on the altar, take your hands off and say, God, I'm trusting you with it. But to watch what God does with it versus what I can do with it has been miraculous and wonderful. And I sit here today singing about the goodness of God for things like that too. Because I've experienced it firsthand, how God works when you give it to him. Watch how it works. Watch how it grows. Watch what God will do. He's a better manager than I'll ever be. When he entrusts me with something, I want to be faithful to always give that back to him with open hands. Even if I'm the one managing in this worldly point of view, I still want to have open hands and say, Lord, what would you have me do? Lord, what would you have me to do? There's a few things that are talked about during the Ash Wednesday Lenten season. And I saw it on one church billboard over on Homer Adams Parkway, and it said prayer, sacrifice, and sharing. You'll hear it said other ways, but I was thinking about those things. Those things don't come naturally to us. Praying. That doesn't come naturally to the man in the parable. It didn't come naturally to the man in the crowd. It doesn't come naturally to you and me until we're really desperate, and then we call out for help. Is it maybe a gift to be desperate? I believe it is. Oh, that God would not have to strip every single worldly blessing in my life so that I could be desperate. But if he does, it's for the glory of God. May you know right now, in the comfort of this place, what it means to know God and what it means to be desperate for him to save us, to continue to save us, and to finish that saving work in heaven.